Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the ethereal realms explored in Imagine Heaven by John Burke. This insightful book, published in 2015, bridges the gap between the divine mysteries and human curiosity, presenting a compilation of near-death experiences from individuals spanning all walks of life, including highly respected doctors and young children. Burke meticulously examines these profound experiences and aligns them with scriptural visions of the afterlife, offering a glimpse into what heaven could entail. John Burke, an engineer turned pastor, is the co-founder of Gateway Church in Austin, Texas. He has earned accolades for his contributions to Christian literature, with notable works such as No Perfect People Allowed and Unshockable Love. His esteemed background lends credibility to his exploration of transcendent themes. Imagine Heaven is an invitation to Christians who yearn to understand what life after death might hold, skeptics in search of tangible evidence supporting the existence of heaven, and those captivated by the enigma of near-death experiences. Join us as we contemplate the afterlife through the lens of diverse personal testimonies and scriptural interpretation, all within a 20-minute literary journey that promises to expand your horizons and perhaps touch your soul. Imagine Heaven, near-death experiences, God's promises, and the exhilarating future that awaits you. Introduction. Exploring the edges of eternity through near-death stories. Imagine standing on the brink of the world you've always known as you peer into an enigma that has piqued human curiosity for ages, the afterlife. This is the position many find themselves in during a near-death experience. John Burke in Imagine Heaven takes us on a journey, exploring the rich tapestry of these occurrences as they unveil the mystery that lies beyond our final breath. Near-death experiences are more than mere flukes of the brain or hallucinatory effects of trauma. Often, individuals who have brushed with death describe a profound encounter characterized by intense emotions, reunions with loved ones, and otherworldly landscapes. These encounters raise intriguing questions. Are these glimpses of an actual place? What do they tell us about the life to come? As we unearth the stories and insights from Imagine Heaven, listeners may find new perspectives on life, death, and the infinite journey that may await us all. Encounter with the Divine. Common threads in NDE reports. Sheila's experience is more than an isolated event. It's part of a broader pattern. Countless near-death experience reports allude to similar features. An out-of-body sensation, the appearance of a tunnel leading to light, and encounters with beings radiating immense love and warmth. Through the narratives collected in Imagine Heaven, a picture emerges of the beyond, a place of indescribable beauty, peace, eternal vistas, bustling cities of light and unimaginable colors. It's depicted as a realm where love is not just an emotion, but the very fabric of existence, an environment that fills the soul with a profound sense of belonging and purpose. The consistency of these experiences across different cultures and religious backgrounds is particularly stunning. Medical professionals may be skeptical, but with the sheer number of NDEs reported globally, we are challenged to consider whether these accounts hold deeper truths that align with and transcend our earthly understanding of religion and spirituality. Reconciling heaven with modern-day skepticism. In the age of skepticism, when empirical evidence is king, NDE accounts bring both comfort and controversy. Some may dismiss them as fanciful illusions, but for those who have lived them, they are as real as life itself. Imagine Heaven not only recounts vivid NDE stories, but also attempts to reconcile these experiences with a rational perspective. John Burke carefully examines the commonalities of near-death experiences in light of scriptural descriptions of heaven. What's surprising is how well they align, evoking the sense that these experiences are not random neurological misfires, but potential insights into a reality beyond our own. From light-filled expanses to heartfelt reunions, the features of NDEs draw remarkable parallels with various religious and philosophical conceptions of paradise. The book encourages us to keep an open but discerning mind, as the boundary between life and death may be more permeable and profound than we've ever imagined. The transformative power of peering beyond the veil. For those who return from NDEs, life is never the same. The experiences carry a transformative power, often altering their values, diminishing their fear of death, and imbuing their lives with a new sense of purpose. Such profound changes speak to the gravity of what they've seen and felt, even if grounded once again in the limitations of earthly existence. In Imagine Heaven, we aren't just presented with stories to satiate our curiosity about the afterlife. We're offered reflections on how these glimpses of eternity can reshape our living days. An NDE can render the material aspects of life less imperative, prioritizing instead connections, love, and a pursuit of meaning. With each story, listeners are invited to reflect inwardly and ponder how understanding heaven can influence the way we approach our lives today. Whether or not we've personally had such an encounter with the afterlife, we can still draw from the well of wisdom offered by those who've stood on the threshold of the world to come. In imagining heaven, we may find ourselves transformed, chasing a life of greater depth and intention, a life that aligns with the eternal bliss that might await us when our time comes to cross that final frontier. Part 1: Heaven's Reality, Beyond Imagination, or Merely Mindful Creations. When individuals share their near-death experiences of heaven, they often describe them with a conviction that is both bewildering and persuasive. Is it possible that these experiences are authentic visits to an otherworldly paradise, or might they be merely a byproduct of our brain's intricate imagination? This is the question Imagine Heaven prompts us to consider. Dive into these tales of the great beyond, where each story paints a vivid picture of a realm too nuanced and vibrant to dismiss as mere fantasy. Neurosurgeon Eben Alexander recounts landscapes infused with life-affirming warmth, colors that defy description, and a sense of profound reality that surpasses even the most lucid of dreams. Golf enthusiast Marv Besterman resonates with Alexander's encounter, his own vision tinged with the richest hues of nature incomparable to Earth's vistas. Remarkably, even those without prior visual reference, such as Brad Barrows, can report an encounter with the celestial canvas, his blindness lifted in a place where the air itself vibrates with an exquisite brightness. This universal perception of beauty across such diverse NDE narratives suggests a tantalizing consistency. But what about the architecture of heaven? Captain Dale Black and Gary Wood add another layer to our celestial tapestry with their sightings of a celestial city. Black speaks of a city shimmering with light and resonant with captivating melodies, while Wood details opulent buildings gleaming with gold and crystal in a grandeur that earthly constructs cannot match. Yet amidst this collection of compelling accounts, doubt lingers. Can these be dismissed as the complex workings of the human mind in its final moments? Or are they indeed a window to a profound and undeniable reality? Imagine Heaven doesn't just present these stories. It also challenges us to explore the mystery that lies at the intersection of science and spirituality. With each recounted NDE, we inch closer to unraveling whether heaven is a space our souls may truly inhabit or simply a comforting illusion conjured within the depths of human consciousness. This exploration doesn't aim to diminish the beauty or dismiss the potential reality of heaven, but rather to probe the complex, often unanswerable questions that surround our existence. As we contemplate the divinity of these afterlife visions, we are invited to ponder the immeasurable possibility that there may indeed be more to life and death than we can see or understand. Part 2: The Afterlife, Under Investigation. Does science confirm near-death experiences? As tales of near-death experiences surface with increasing detail and consistency, the question remains: can science offer validation for these extraordinary accounts? In Imagine Heaven, we delve into remarkable stories that border the realm of the verifiable, challenging the boundary between the scientific and the supernatural. Take, for instance, the story of young Katie, whose brush with death took her on an ethereal journey. In a coma and on the brink of passing, Katie narrated her out-of-body observations with uncanny accuracy, scenes of her family at home which left her loved ones in awe. Her accounts raise a compelling argument. How could she possess such intricate knowledge of events transpiring miles away from her hospital bed? Similar stories, laden with precise details, strengthen the case for scientific inquiry. Consider the compelling account of Maria, who, while between life and death, claimed to have seen a tennis shoe perched on a ledge far outside of her hospital room's view. Skepticism faced a formidable challenge when researchers, like Kimberly Clark Sharp, found the described shoe exactly where Maria said it would be. Such instances of verified information from individuals supposedly unconscious or clinically dead have prompted doctors and researchers to explore the phenomenon of NDEs with rigor. Contrary to the expectations of some, the discoveries have often reaffirmed the mystery rather than dispelling it. Prominent researchers like Dr. Jeffrey Long highlight the contradictions between traditional scientific understanding and these experiences. He points out the improbable lucidity of NDEs amidst a flatlined EEG, a scenario where no brain activity should be producing such vivid and coherent memories. Another piece of the puzzle is presented by Dr. Pim van Lommel, who elucidates that the descriptions of NDEs significantly differ from the hallucinatory experiences induced by drugs, dismissing the notion that these are mere chemical concoctions of a dying brain. John Burke, weaving together these strands of evidence in Imagine Heaven, arrives at a straightforward yet profound assertion. The concept of an afterlife is not only possible, but is supported by the experiences that defy current scientific explanation. While science may not yet fully understand the mechanics of consciousness or the dimensions of existence beyond our mortal experience, the evidence provided by NDEs invites us to consider the existence of an afterlife with open minds. Through these scientific examinations and verifiable accounts, Imagine Heaven guides us through the tantalizing possibility that life indeed continues in a form beyond the one we know. Part 3. Common Threads in the Fabric of Near-Death Encounters. The study of near-death experiences unveils a curious pattern. A convergence of elements ties together the vast array of personal accounts. Thousands of NDE narratives, drawn from individuals hailing from varied demographics, share recurring motifs that invite further contemplation. Research in the field, notably by Dr. Van Pommel and Dr. Jeffrey Long, echoes this sentiment by highlighting commonalities across these profound experiences. From the out-of-body excursion to the sensations of heightened perception, the parallels are too pronounced to ignore. Diverse as they are, individuals report seeing a bright and loving light, feeling intense joy, and acquiring a newfound sensory acuity. Recall the tapestry woven by tales like Pete Morton's, who spectated his own resuscitation, Vicky, who gained visual insight despite a lifelong blindness, or Jeff, whose sense of smell intensified to a supernatural degree. Then there are those like Richard Eby and Don Piper, whose encounters with spectacular colors and vistas suggest a realm of perception far beyond the scope of the earthly senses. As these individuals brush shoulders with a radiant light, many characterize this presence as divine. Hazliane and Steve Shorgan, among others, recount a profound affinity with this entity, whether perceived as a religious figure or as an embodiment of pure love. While skeptics may point to the slight variations in accounts as a way to dismiss the credibility of NDEs, Imagine Heaven offers a different perspective. John Burke posits that these stories, rather than undermining one another, actually intertwine to reinforce the potential validity of NDEs. They are diverse threads in a grander tapestry, each adding depth and color to the collective human understanding of the afterlife. Moreover, Burke makes a striking correlation. There's a harmony between these common NDE elements and the descriptions found within Scripture. As such, the near-death narratives both complement and enlarge upon the ancient texts, breathing life and contemporaneity into our conceptions of the spiritual realm. NDE accounts, thus, stand as more than mere personal journeys. They form a collective testament to an experience shared amongst the human race. Divergent though they may be, they loop together, forming a compelling case for a transcendent reality that awaits beyond the threshold of what we know. Through this exploration, Imagine Heaven urges us to consider the profound possibility that the core of our being may indeed continue in a dimension where senses, emotions, and encounters are magnified beyond earthly measure. Part 4. Bridging the near-death experience with biblical imagery. The skepticism some Christians may hold against near-death experiences, branding them as deceptive or demonic, is confronted with a powerful counter-argument in Imagine Heaven. Within its pages, these celestial visions are connected with the ancient texts of the Bible, finding striking correlations between the personal accounts of NDEs and scriptural passages. Take, for example, the luminous assertions of 4-year-old Colton Burpo and Bill, whose visions of heaven describe an omnipresent, never-fading light, a depiction that echoes the words of Revelation 21:23 about a city illuminated not by sun or moon, but by the divine glory itself. These first-hand accounts seem to draw directly from the same celestial palette described in the sacred texts. The analogies extend to more than just light. Ian McCormack, a surfer from New Zealand, and Captain Dale Black both recount seeing a crystalline river, a detail that mirrors the biblical description of the water of life flowing from the throne of God. These vivid narratives bear a remarkable resemblance to the holy visions found in Revelation, painting a picture of a heavenly landscape that is both poetic and precise. The Son of God, too, is described with reverence and awe in these encounters. From Sama's description of a brilliance surpassing the sun, to Vicky's mention of light emanating from Jesus' personage, these experiences align closely with the portrayal of Christ in the book of Revelation. Dr. George Ritchie's and Dean Braxton's encounters only further cement this link, depicting a Christ who is at once flames of love and a being of pure light. These consistent and detailed descriptions forge a compelling bridge between what NDErs have seen and what the scriptures have proclaimed for millennia. The parallels are indeed notable. Bright, never-ending light, the life-giving river, and the messianic aura are all facets of heaven that recur throughout these people's stories, verifying the possibility that their experiences are not inventions but authentic visions of an eternal realm. Imagine Heaven, through its thoughtful cross-examination of Scripture and NDEs, invites its audience to reflect on the interconnectedness of divine narratives. By highlighting the shared imagery and cohesive themes, John Burke's examination stands as a testament to the potential reality of these profound experiences, offering reassurance to believers and skeptics alike that our eternal destination may just be as described in the ancient hallowed texts. Part 5. The Darker Side of Near Death. Visions of Hell. In exploring the afterlife, Imagine Heaven doesn't shy away from the shadows cast by tales of near-death encounters with hell. While narratives of heavenly realms bask in warmth and light, there exists a less spoken of chapter of NDEs that peers into an abyss of despair and darkness. Far less frequent in their telling, perhaps due to the profound trauma they cause or a sense of shame, these hellish experiences are nonetheless real to those who report them. Researchers categorize these troubling journeys into 3 distinct types: the void, hell on earth, and the pit. Imagine the terror of falling eternally through darkness, never hitting ground, alone in an ever-consuming void. This is what some NDErs describe, their descent into fear only arrested by a desperate prayer to be saved, a plea that seems to lift them from the darkness and back to the realm of the living. Then there is what is termed hell on earth, a state where souls linger, bound to the material world by unfinished business or unyielding attachments. Unlike their heavenly counterparts, these disembodied beings overlook the light that represents God's presence, trapping themselves in an earthly purgatory, unable or unwilling to ascend. Lastly, Imagine Heaven depicts the pit as an ultimate manifestation of hell, a subterranean horror where the air reeks of decay and shadows strike with malevolent intent. The narrative is visceral, with enders recalling torment by unseen aggressors and an almost palpable stench. It is through a call to the divine that they escape this frightful state. These distressing experiences, often devoid of the peace and beauty that characterize the testimonies of heavenly NDEs, bring forward an unsettling possibility. Hell, much like heaven, may be a genuine post-mortem destination. Despite the differences from the traditional infernos of lore, these accounts share a chilling uniformity that suggests an otherworldly existence contrary to paradise. John Burke, with a solemn nod to these darker recounts, reminds us that the spectrum of NDEs indicates a duality of afterlife scenarios. While they may not match our preconceived notions of hell, these experiences nonetheless serve as a poignant reminder of an existential realm beyond our present understanding, urging us to reflect on the choices we make in life and their potential impact on our eternal journey. Final summary. Through the myriad of NDE stories that Imagine Heaven brings to light, we're invited on a journey that transcends ordinary life, offering a window into what lies beyond the confines of earthly existence. These accounts of heaven and hell, experienced by those who have lingered at death's threshold before returning to share their tales, beckon us to contemplate the essence of the afterlife. The exceptional nature of these experiences is not just in their ability to provide potential evidence of an afterlife, but in the vivid and intimate depictions they offer, from the radiant fields and shimmering cities of paradise to the profound darkness and isolation some describe as hell. Each story adds a stroke to the larger portrait of eternity. John Burke culminates this exploration with a hopeful invitation to allow these insights into heaven and the afterlife to not simply assure us of its reality, but to spur us into a life more attuned with the divine. The allure of heaven's majesty and the warning of hell's despair are presented as catalysts, encouraging each of us to draw nearer to a purposeful existence aligned with higher virtues and God's will. In essence, Imagine Heaven is more than a collection of riveting NDE stories. It is a call to action, a plea to harness the inspiration drawn from these glimpses of the afterlife and channel it into our daily lives. Let these profound encounters with the eternal realm inspire you, motivate you, and guide you to strive for a destination brimming with splendor, one that truly mirrors the magnificence of the heaven above. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.